What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today is Monday, what is it, the 12th of January, beginning the second week of trading for this year, and I'll be going over the price action on NQ NAS 100 and the trades that I took today. Today was a bit of a tricky day to some extent. Caught some trades today. Didn't take many trades, but ended the day green. I just decided to play it a bit safer today, being as it's the first time for the year and in a long while that I've been trading New York session, and I didn't want to over trade or go on a tilt or try to lose so much money, and I'm already in drawdown. So let's get right into today's video. Doing this video a little bit earlier today because I'm off from work for this week, so just trying to be disciplined and try to take the week as it comes, not trying to force anything. So let's get right into the video. Now, going over from the higher time frame, let's start with, say, the 4-hour time frame. This is what we look like. So this is NQ NAS 100. So opened up last night and we came down on some Trump news and thing. A bunch of stuff going on with Trump making some talk about Cuba, and with everything that happened over the weekend with Venezuela and all of that, the market kind of reacted down. So sold off last night going into Asia, into London, and then we came back up during New York. The majority of the buy started right here in New York session, which I didn't get to really capitalize on because I didn't necessarily jump on the charts so early, because I was here and I woke up the normal time, but I didn't want to jump out on the charts too early. So I could have woke up for London, but I didn't. So I only traded New York. I was on the chart from around 7 a.m. Let me show you what we did this morning. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame and then now the 50 minutes. So here's the 1 hour. So this is the 1 hour. Oh, let me show you gold as well, because took a trade on gold. So let me show you gold as well. So this is gold. We gapped up from yesterday evening, came back down to fill the gap a little bit, and then we just decided to run for the entire day. So the first week and day looks like this. This is Monday's candle. We have like a hour left in trading, about half hour actually left in trading for the day. So that's when I'm putting out this video. So I just took the trade on gold and NQ. Let me go down now to the 50-minute time frame, show you what we look like. So this morning when I got on the chart, this is what we look like. So when I opened up the charts last night, this is what I saw. I saw all of this sell off. When I wake up sometime this morning, I think I saw this little bit of a buy up here, and I was going to take a trade, and I said, you know what, now I'm going to force it, and I decided against it because I wasn't fully awake and things. So we came all the way down this close to previous daily low, and we tapped into this demand level right here, and this was the exact lower day. This was early this morning, right around 4 a.m. that we started to buy, and I saw this as well, and I could have jumped in, but I didn't take the trade. So we went all the way up, consolidated. Right before New York open, we move a bit sideways on the lower time frame, and you know, I take my entries on the lower time frame. So it was a bit sideways, so I wanted to see what New York was going to do. We came all the way down here, and then we just ran for the day. I was expecting price to come down here. Is what I was expecting, because we came so close to the previous daily low. I know New York have a tendency to just spike in either direction. It can go up or down, but what I was looking for, because we had already did this, we had already sold off for the day from the overnight session here, so I was expecting us to come back down now to run this low here, maybe take out this previous daily low. This would have been Friday's low, but that didn't occur. What I didn't want was to jump into the market for the buys, and then I got stopped out by price just coming down to here and then pushing up, and then I left stopped out down here, lose my daily loss for the day, and not being able to capitalize when this move go on. So I didn't want to jump in on this buy, because New York have the tendency to push up, drop back down, and then give you the real move. So I wasn't sure, so I just decided to just wait. So we were holding this new day opening gap, or new week opening gap rather. Yeah man, this is a new week opening gap from, what was this, a couple weeks. No, it's actually a new day opening gap. So this is from last week. This is Friday. This is Friday right here. So this would have been Thursday. So yeah, didn't expect this type of movement, but we just ran up, and I capitalize on a little bit of a move in here. And gold, this is what we did. So we gapped up, refresh this, gapped up, new week opening gap here, and we didn't return to here. This was during London, didn't come on the charts during London, and I took a sell right here, and then we went up for the buy. Stop me up, break even, and I run, because I was expecting a little bit more of a pullback, but this thing is bullish. So, and we had all-time highs, so didn't want to go in front of it. I took another scalp buy here and took out some profit before it came back to stop me out as well. So that was on the lower time frame. Let me fix back this chart here, move this now to here. So let's now go to trading view, and I'll show you the moves that could have been capitalized on for today. So let's get right into it. We won't go over everything. This was the kind of consolidation that I was referring to. So we had this sell-off during London. As a matter of fact, it started from all the way in Asia. I wasn't on the chart here. I was at home, but I didn't participate in any of the moves here. I was just watching, you know. So I didn't capitalize on any of that part of the move. Coming down, looking back at it now, this seems like a nice, clean market maker buy model. Looking at this little curve, we did a nice little curve here. manipulated down, and then we just continued up. But zooming out now is when I'm seeing that. So like I said, this was a decent sell-off during London here. This macro gave us a nice little sell-off before we formed low of the day, and this low formed right around 345 to 350 when we got this buy opportunity. So this was the entry using this here as a breaker block here. So this was a breaker block that you could have gotten an entry here in on this macro, as well as right here using this level here as an order block. So that one there, as well as here as an order block. So this could have been a pretty decent entry. One there, so one here, one here, and inside this macro, not the cleanest. You'd have to jump in right as soon as this open, right over here. But any one of these could have been an entry. I would have to use a wider stop because I didn't trust it. But we just consolidated range sideways until we finally shut up during New York. So I didn't like this type of price action. I got on the charts right around here, 7 o'clock, right around here. And I was thinking about taking a buy, but I didn't like the action that I see here, so I just decided to wait. We opened right at 9:30 here, and we just shut off, and I was saying, damn, missed the move. But we did not pull back to here. What I didn't want, as I said before, we didn't want it to spike down, take me out, and then I get a push like this. So just decided to wait. If I had entered here, I'd have to set my stop way down here, and I wouldn't want to risk that. The risk to reward wasn't the greatest. Today is a bit slow, especially that it's no news on the Monday, you know. So the move that I capitalized on was right here. Right around 10 o'clock here, we open right here for the PO3 open right here on this candle. Right here on this candle. So let me show you PO3. And this is the 4-hour PO3. So this 10 a.m. candle, we did a manipulation. Come down here. So we did this manipulation right there, and then we did a second manipulation to take out this low. So during the macro, we did have a decent buy right there. So my entry after we did the manipulation, I think I entered somewhere around here, and I had my stops pretty tight below this low here, somewhere below this low here. After we did this, I wasn't expecting the candle to do another manipulation down here, so I took a buy, went into profit here. I was only risking like 0.25% or less than 0.25%. Yeah, I was only risking like $150 max based on the size that I took. And I just wanted to hold this for the entirety of the day. Using this 4-hour candle, which would have formed the PO3 here. So this would have been the PO3. So let me zoom in. So it would have been this 4-hour candle right here. It would have been this 4-hour candle right here, because this is the one from 6 a.m. This is the one from 10 a.m. So this is from 10 until 2 up here. So when I was looking at the action, I wanted to hold that trade for the entirety of the day. Wasn't expecting this deep of a pullback because the way how this look, if you notice on the 1 hour, I'd love to show you on the 15 minute. Let me see if I can pull up the 15 minute. So when I entered, I actually wanted price to come back down to this 15 minute fair value gap, but that didn't happen. So when I saw this, I was expecting to manipulate down and then continue up. I wasn't expecting that deep retracement, at least to come all the way back to my stop. So came back to my stop, and then we just ran for the rest of the day. I took 2 trades, so I shouldn't have flipped my bias. This was the 10 a.m. When I saw this move, I realized that I think it's going to sell. So I took a sell here, set my stop up here, and it went into profit a little bit right here. And when it did this right here, I think I closed out like half because I realized I risk a little bit more than I wanted to. Then, because I was risking like 0.5% on that sell, the default settings and the magic keys here. So it came back up and stopped me out for the rest up here for like a $300 loss up here. So I shouldn't have flipped my bias. I should have actually re-entered, but I kind of just got tripped up inside this action here, and then now we just bought for the rest of the day. I didn't bother to re-enter because what I was looking at is, let me show you over here, the risk to reward wasn't really worth it for me after that, because what I was looking at is the previous daily high right here and the previous weekly high, and I was saying the target after entering right there, I wasn't thinking that we would have run to there. I was expecting the consolidation. So what I was actually looking at is the risk to reward, because I was going to just jump in and enter. I didn't know how much manipulation this 1 hour candle would have did, so I didn't bother to enter. I would have entered right here, so I would have entered right here. I would have to put my stops all the way below here, because this is the opening, no much wick on this candle, and my target would have been to right here, which would have been the previous daily high. Now this would have been a 1-to-1, 1-to-1.25, 1.5 thereabout. So I was saying it wasn't worth the risk, so I decided not to bother to take the trade. However, it would have played out, I guess, pretty fine looking back now that I realized that we actually went a little above. It would have been a 1-to-2 trade to the high of the day. But it is what it is. No regrets. Just trying to be disciplined. So here is the entry. Stop break even on the first one. Guess I shouldn't have moved the stop. I would have been still in this trade. And then now for the sell, partial out a little bit there, and then stopped on the rest right here because I had brought down my stop to here. So stopped on that, and I didn't take any more trades for the day on Nasdaq. So looking at these macros now, the lunchtime move sideways, not the cleanest. So I didn't take any entry here. I didn't take another one here, and this one also. This would have been the 2 p.m. silver bullet. By that time I was already pretty much done, because I don't want to be a victim of the decision fatigue. So I just decided not to take any more trades right there. So this would have been a nice little buy as well. So we opened right here. This was the open for the last 4-hour candle for the day. So this one opened pretty decent manipulation, and then we just ran for the day. And this would have came in perfectly. This would have came in perfectly on the 4-hour. So sorry about that. this would have been a much better entry for the buy from right here. Pretty straightforward trade right there. So this would have been a much better buy inside this macro right here. So this would have been a decent risk to reward right there. Stops right below here. So this would have been an easy 1 to 4 here about, depending on where you enter on this 4-hour POC. But this is already late in the day and I'm pretty much done. So I didn't take any of the trades in the PM session. So I'm done for the day. I didn't take any of this. So this would have been a nice trade, and this is what I wanted to see over here. If this macro had given me a pretty decent one pullback entry, then I would have been inside this trade and would have gotten a pretty nice, say this would have been a 1 to 5, 1 to 6 there about to the high of the day, and this would have netted me probably about a 3%, depending on the risk. I would have probably partial heavy, so maybe a 2% overall. But that is it on NQ. The trade that I took now on gold, let me show you. Gold, this is NQ gold now. This is gold right here. So the trade that I took on gold was a sell right inside the macro around 850 to 910. So 850 to 910 right here. Kind of a late entry. I took an entry right here. Right here. And I capitalized on all of this. I think I partial most of it right here. Half here. And then I took the rest of half here. And I took some more when I realized it's reversing. I originally had a TP right there, and then I moved it to below the low. But when I look at it on the higher time frame, I realized that this thing is pretty bullish. It's very strong, so I decided against it. So I just exit the rest of the position and left the break even. It came right back to break even. I thought it was going to sell, but I didn't bother to jump back in. Came all the way down, and then this is right inside the 930 injection, so I didn't take any trades right there. So we went up. This would have been the macro that gave me a nice little buy as well, so I would have caught this buy running up, but I decided against taking that too. A bit hesitant. I just didn't pull the trigger because I was watching it, both of them on the same screen. And then we just did all of this for the rest of the year, which is pretty much sideways. So this macro gave us one sell, another sell right here. This could have been a buy as well. Came back up to this nice little order block for the PM session. So this was lunchtime. Afternoon would have gotten a nice sell right coming down here, consolidate, and so we continue now. So this would have been a nice little sell off to end the day. But I decided against taking so many trades, so I'm just doing the review now to wrap up the day. So again guys, thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for the support. I will catch you guys on the next one tomorrow. Peace.